guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about how you can be more effective in meetings, whether they are meetings at work, whether they are business meetings, particularly if you're shy or if you're lacking a bit of confidence, or maybe if you're a little bit introverted and you just don't like the pressure of having to speak up and make your point in a meeting. Now, I was asked this question a few months ago by somebody, and they said, look, I get invited to a regular meeting, like a weekly and monthly team meeting, or it's a cross-department meeting where I have to go and I have to kind of listen to what's being said, and then I have to raise any issues that might affect our department. But they said, I'm finding that when I go to the meeting, I don't tend to say anything. Like, I just sit there quietly for the whole meeting. And they sort of said to me, how do you think that comes across? And is there anything I can do to improve that? So what I've done is I've come up with 5 top tips, because I think 5 is a good number in terms of things to remember. So 5 top tips as to how you can be more effective and have more impact and come across with confidence in meetings. So the first one is prepare. Prepare, prepare, prepare. And I can't really stress this one enough. So before you get into the meeting, days before, if not at least a good week before, prepare yourself. And that means read the agenda if the agenda is out. If the agenda isn't out yet, just look at the meeting title, the objective, what's the meeting going to be about, what are we trying to achieve in that meeting. And then if there is any background reading that you need to do before the meeting, make sure you carve out some time to do that. There may also be a pre-read or papers that are issued before the meeting, so that the people that are going to the meeting know exactly what they're going to be asked to do, what decisions they're asked to make, and what they're going to be discussing. So make sure that you make time to go through all of that. And then a key part of your preparation is thinking about what you want to get out of the meeting. What are the points that you need to make? What are the questions you want to ask? And also, not just what do you want to get out of the meeting, but what do the other people in the room want to get out of the meeting? So think about who's going to be there. Do they all kind of agree with you? Do they not agree with you? Are some of them going to be frosty, etc.? So just really prepare, think very much about the meeting. Almost think about it as though you're going to a game. You're literally going to a game, like a baseball game. Kind of like think it all out. Think about the strategy. You know, I know I'm making it sound quite complicated, but really, the more preparation you can put up front, the better. Okay, so that's my first tip, prepare. My second tip is, particularly if you are shy or if you are introverted, send your questions and send any input or feedback in advance of the meeting. You don't need to wait until you are in the room to raise those points, because believe me, if you're a little bit shy or you're maybe lacking confidence, or you know that you're going into a meeting where people like to do a lot of that and you've got a lot of big characters and big voices, it can be very easy to get in that room and feel overwhelmed. So my tip here is send your feedback and your questions in advance. Send them in to the person that's running the meeting or the meeting organizer and say, look, here are a couple of points that I just want to raise when we get in the meeting. When you get into the meeting, whether or not you raise those points yourself, if it's a good meeting organizer, they will probably say, oh, you know, Cheryl sent some questions in advance. What did you want to raise? What are the points that you want to make? Or they may just make the points for you and you may not even have to speak. But at least it will come across as though you have contributed. And if you keep doing that a couple of times, maybe when it comes to the next meeting, you can send the questions in advance, but maybe you're feeling more confident now, you can actually raise those points yourself based on the reception that you've seen and how that's gone. So that's my top tip, particularly if you're shy or you're lacking confidence or you're introverted. Send your feedback and all your questions in advance of the meeting. My third tip is listen more than you talk. So this tip is for if you are quite an extrovert or quite a character. You know, there is that saying about having 2 ears and 1 mouth. When we go into meetings, we sometimes, particularly if we are very passionate about the topic and we're very clear in terms of what we want to get out of the meeting, we go in and we think that the objective is to kind of like talk everybody to death. That's clearly not the objective of a meeting. It's not a monologue. So my third tip is listen way more than you talk. If you do that and then you just kind of still make your points and your questions afterwards, you will find that those questions are way more insightful and actually will lead to better better outcomes, better decisions, better results actually from the meeting, just because you have been on listen mode and not just transmitting the whole time. So that's the third point. My fourth point is to make your points clearly and concisely. So it kind of links to my previous point around listening more than you talk. When you are making a point, just make it clearly and concisely, and that's it. You don't need to go on and kind of keep waffling and kind of like talk about different ways of, you know, kind of like making the point, or kind of throw in lots of facts and figures. Make the point. You've probably got one or two facts or figures in that you want to share. So make the point, share the one or two facts and figures, and then that's it. You know, if you're asking for feedback, ask for feedback. If you want to know the views of a specific person, ask for that. But you just don't need to go on and on and on, a little bit like I am now with this point. So I'm going to move off. So that's the fourth point, clearly and concisely. Number 5. My final tip for how you can be more effective in a meeting. So this one is to ask for a replay of the next steps or the actions at the end of the meeting. Now, usually this is the responsibility of the person that's actually set the meeting up. So the meeting organizer, or the meeting facilitator, or the meeting secretary, whatever you want to call them, or the note taker. They will usually summarize if it's a good meeting and call out some of the key actions. If that doesn't happen automatically, there's nothing wrong with you asking. And again, particularly if you're maybe shy or you're introverted, this is one question that actually probably quite a lot of people in the room would be quite keen to hear, and it'd be quite useful. So just say to them, oh, can we just summarize what the actions were? I just didn't capture all of my notes. And there you go, you can at least get your actions. If there have been a lot of actions because it's been a very long meeting, you could always just say, actually, can I just recap on what I think my actions were? And hopefully, because you've been taking notes in the meeting for yourself in terms of your own actions, you can say to them, okay, I think I heard that I need to do X, Y, and Z. Is that correct, or was it something else? And that's just a really cool way of being really effective, so that you know exactly what it is you need to do after the meeting. But also, if you're a little bit shy, if you're a little bit quiet, if you're maybe lacking a bit of confidence, it's a really easy one that you can actually find a way of finding a bit of a voice and actually contributing in a way that is actually valuable. And actually it's something that everybody would appreciate as well. So that is my 5 top tips to be a little bit more effective in meetings, whether or not you're the organizer or you're just a participant. I hope you find that useful. If you found it useful, please leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more about this, other topics in terms of how to perform professionally, whether that be in work, in your own business, or just kind of like doing your own thing in your life generally. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more. Give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments with you know, what you thought about the video, and I'll kind of just keep making more of these. So I will see you next time. Thanks guys, bye. Hey guys.